Hello, parents. This message is for you. I'm going to talk a little bit about reading with your child with their homework and their reading books. This is our new book, I Can Read Well, Book 1. This is the first book in the last set of books that they'll be receiving this year. They've gone through I Learn to Read and I Do Read, and now we're going to start in I Can Read Well. You'll notice that these books are longer and the letters, the print is a little bit smaller. Let me talk to you how you can help your child with this book. On the first page, we have a list of words. Let me start by saying that we always read across. In class, we do not read down. So that's what they're used to, is going across the page to each line. Now, this can be quite overwhelming and tiresome to try to tackle this whole page at one time, especially for a struggling reader. So let me give you a couple tips, a couple pointers if it just seems like too big of a task to get this whole page read. One thing you can do is skip it. If you know your child is tired, I would rather them go straight to a story and read a couple stories with you than to try to tackle this page when they're not mentally able to handle it. Now, I don't want you skipping it all the time, but I'm giving you an out that if you know that this is going to be too much for them, go on to the story and start from there and pick it up on a day where they can handle it. If you are reading this, you can just have them read, or if you want to help your child a little bit, you could read the first part of the word and let them finish it. So, for example, you could say ra, and then they could reply rat. You could say me, and then they would reply miss to get them started. You could also just simply read it with them. Some children do better, and we do this in class where we take our bookmarks, and sometimes looking at all those words at one time is very overwhelming. Cover up everything except for the first line and go across. Now they just see these 4 words instead of a whole page full of words. That makes it a little less overwhelming. Also, sometimes I will do a game, and I'll say, see if you can beat Mrs. Hass. And I'll say go, and I'll count in my head to 5 or 6 or 7, and then I will read the word. So if they could not get this, I would say rat, and I would act like it was a contest to see if they could beat me. So be creative with this page. Do not get overwhelmed. See how much you can get through. Also, you'll notice in this book, there's a lot more words with special sounds. You'll see those throughout the story. Short vowel words that have a special sound in them, long vowel words that have a special sound. Get a pen or a pencil ready when you're reading with your child, and feel free to mark up your books. They're your books to keep. If I have a reader that is struggling and we get to a word, let's say they're struggling with the word blue, I would take my pen and I would circle that special sound for them. That breaks up the word a little bit. And now they can look and they can think, oh, I just need to sound out that special sound first. Bull, B-L, bull, bull. And then you could even mark the vowels for them here and there. I would only do this on the words that they're struggling with. Otherwise, it's just going to be all marked up. It's like someone who's highlighting a book and they end up highlighting the whole book. It defeats the purpose. But if there's a word that they're struggling with, circle the special sound and mark the vowels and then help them sound it out. Let's look at the first story. Now, when we're looking at a story like this, anytime an exclamation point shows up, I talk to them about using expression and how I would say, you wouldn't say, Gail, wake up. You would say, Gail, wake up, and make your voice go up and down. They'll understand what you're talking about. Now, let's say that they're struggling, they're reading this, and they get to this word right here, and they just cannot figure it out. Instead of just telling them clock and trying to move on, you can start by circling those special sounds in that word. You can mark the vowel and then tell them, okay, now try to sound that out. If they're still struggling, give them the first sound. Say cool. And then see if they can get a little bit more. Cool, ah, and then they might be able to say clock. So kind of give them a little bit of help at first before you just give in and tell them the word. Let them work for it a little bit. It's okay. And go through the story. Now, I don't expect everyone to read this entire book every night. This book, for example, has 15 pages, and you can see that there's more sentences on the pages than there were in the other books. Just the fact that there are special sounds throughout this whole book is going to make it harder. And that's okay. It's to be expected. So just do your best. Try to make reading a fun time. Try not to overwhelm them. Quality is sometimes better than quantity. So I would much rather them take a few pages, read those well, and take their time with them than trying to fight through the whole book and they're tired and they don't ever want to see the book again after that. So try not to make this a marathon. If they can do it, great. If they're struggling, I expect it and it's going to be okay. So just help them through the words, make it a game. They'll be fine. It'll be okay. We'll all get through this together. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'm hopefully going to have a video that where they can read along with some of the stories in the first part of the book with me. That might help some of your readers as well. So just do your best, parents. Thank you for your support during this time. And I'll get back with you soon. Thank you.